Hello YouTube. Oh, I got a free computer today to scrap out or revive or do whatever with. It's Compaq SR1750NX. It's an AMD based machine that came with Windows XP at the time. Radeon graphics, so it might have onboard oh, it does. Yeah, it has integrated Radeon graphics. Norton. Oh no. The AMD 64 enhanced virus protection. I remember that when they were basically advertising that buffer overrun would be prevented with that processor. Let's take this crap off because it just looks bad. Came with Windows XP Media Center Edition 2005. It has a card reader that, wow, this card reader actually does smart media cards. Go figure. 2 DVD drives, one's light scribe. There's nothing in this one. There's nothing there. In that particular slot. What's in here? Oh, an HP DVD drive. There you go. It's a typical Compaq case. I like these Compaq cases, actually. Here's the back. Power supply. Rear fan. A Sunon fan. PS2, parallel, VGA, Firewire 400, 4 USBs, Ethernet, digital audio out, and analog audio. And the obligatory modem that used to come with pretty much every XP machine back in the day. Let's open this up. Let's see what's up. Jesus. The side of this case is ridiculous. Oh, that's what was rattling around in there. The heatsink came off. Well, that would do it. This computer is filthy. But it doesn't look bad. So, might be revivable. Heatsink grease looks really dry, though. I don't see any bad capacitors. It's got 2 SATA ports and IDE. Whoops. Oh well. Let's inspect this. See, I see nothing really all that bad. There's some, what are these? Those don't look too great. Yeah, some KZG capacitors. Those might not be so great. It has a PCIe slot. Hey, that's pretty nice. Looks like it has the stock 1 gig of RAM in it still, which is good. Doesn't appear to have any hard drives in it. So, that should be an easy fix. I can just stick a drive in here and try it out. However, I need to fix this heatsink situation. I don't know what the deal is with this. Doesn't look like the plastic was broken. So I'll just make sure the heatsink can get back on. Okay, the heatsink does stay on, but that bracket is so fiddly, I can't stand it. And this computer's also pretty darn filthy. Alright, there's some numbers down here. There you go. I've seen people gut these cases and actually use them, so what's in here is probably a micro ATX motherboard. In fact, that's exactly what it looks like. So if this board doesn't work, I could just use the case. Maybe not the power supply because it's 250 watt, but actually 300 watt. So, 300 watt, that might not be bad. This is a 300 watt best tech. It's an ATX 312Z. The 300 watt power supplies are okay. The 250 watt ones are the ones you got to look out for. But either way, I'm probably going to open up the power supply just to inspect it. So I'll show that in a second here. Capacitors in here look good. Well, they are TPO pieces of crap. They don't seem to be visibly bad. So, I don't see anything bad in here. There's no, like, burnt crap. There's no burnt diodes or resistors or transistors or capacitors or what have you. But there's quite a bit of filtering on this best tech here. Although it's filthy, I need to clean it. But This 300 watt Bestech has cheap capacitors in it, but the circuitry seems fine and the capacitors seem fine, so I'm going to give it the go-ahead for testing this machine out. Anyway, I got this front panel off. That took a bit of effort. It's got an HP LightScribe DVD drive in it, which is kind of nice. Hopefully the tray is still good. There's the memory card reader right there. Front panel stuff, including FireWire. And what's nice is they actually give you extra screws. They still carry over that old tradition of the Compaq Torx screws. Except that these are Phillips head screws, which is even nicer. So, I think they're for CD-ROM. I think these are CD-ROM screws. I'm not sure. They could be hard drive screws as well. But here's the front panel. Everything is just, separate on the inside. Those aren't part of the optical drives. Here's what was originally in this machine. You got a 200 gig hard drive. You got an AMD Athlon 3500 Plus processor, gig of memory, and a DVD-RW drive with LightScribe apparently, and Windows XP Media Center Edition 2005. And I do have a COA for that on the side of this, so I could use this as a Windows XP machine, but I might put a dual core in this and make it a better machine at some point in the future. It could certainly make a better. It certainly would make a better workshop machine than the net-top board that's in that old-ass computer case over there. So I'll put this back together, put some thermal paste on the processor, get the thing mounted, and then we'll see if it works. Okay, we're back upstairs here. Cleaned off the heatsink and the processor of all that white crap that was on it. This is an AMD Athlon 643500 Plus. It's a socket 939 CPU, so this can be upgraded to an X2, which I might actually do eventually. Since if this thing works, it'll probably end up being a workshop computer. 939 is my favorite AMD platform actually, so this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool computer to have for free. This cooler has a 70mm fan on it though, so it might be a little bit loud. Either way, got some grease in there. Let's grease this thing up. Alright, I got the processor all greased up. I also put a hard drive in here. Those screws on the front turned out to be very handy for that because I needed 4 of them to get this drive in here. This is just an old Western Digital 120 gigabyte hard drive. So this was in my workshop computer. If this ends up working, this will be my new workshop computer. The board in here is an Asus motherboard, as is evident by some of the Asus chips on it. This has ATI chip right there, an SB400. It's got 2 SATA ports, IDE, 2 IDE actually. Wow, that's not bad. Alright, I plugged it in. No sparks so far. Let's turn it on. Hey, I see life. Hey, it works. Sweet. Will it beep? I hear the hard drive seeking around. This thing appears to be working. Very nice. Does the DVD drive work? Yeah, DVD drive works absolutely fine. Nice. I appear to have a working machine here, which is very good. Power's on anyway, and the CPU fan slows down, so that's definitely a good thing. Alright, I got a monitor and keyboard all hooked up and a USB key with Linux Mint 13 on it. Let's see if we can boot from there. I think it's pretty loud. F2, F8, escape. Escape's the boot menu. Can it boot from USB? Yes, it can. Very nice. But let's go into the BIOS first. So Control-Alt-Delete. I forget which one's the BIOS setup. F1. Okay. Computer appears to work just fine. Alright. December 6th. Wow, it actually kept the time. Nice. So it's a 2.2 gigahertz AMD Athlon 3500 plus. So it's pretty old at this point, but it still might work okay for PCIe, I guess. I don't know. Hardware monitor. That CPU is cooled. Computer looks pretty good. Drawer, stay off. Boot device priority. It's all where it should be. Alright. Let's boot from the USB key and see how Linux Mint 13 runs on this thing. I love this keyboard. Alright, let's boot from there. Alright. Let me go get an Ethernet cable and snake it over here so I can actually get access to the internet. Alright, it's slowly booting. It's got a nice light. Got a couple nice lights on the front. Hard drive light. The hard drive light and the power light. Oh, I see a cursor. Sweet. This computer's starting up just excruciatingly slowly. I can move the mouse. Like this trackball here. Hey, Linux Mint 13. Sweet. Alright. Terminal. Wow, that's pretty snappy. Alright, LS PCI. What's in this machine? Ah, lots of AMD chipsets and stuff. It's not Enforce. It's not an Enforce chipset, which is good news. Let me adjust the monitor there. There we go. Looks like it's a lot of AMD chipset stuff. SB400. Oh yeah, it's got Realtek Ethernet via Firewire. AMD audio. Oh, it's AC97 audio. Okay. Now this computer has a gig of RAM in it. It's moving along pretty darn well for its age. The 939 was really ahead of its time. See, even that was pretty darn fast. So let's go to YouTube and see if it plays YouTube fairly decently. Okay. Let's go to someone's channel that won't kill me. Let's go to my own. What's a good video? Whatever. Grateful 42's 98 bucks. Let's see if it plays YouTube well. It does. Turn the volume up.
I got a haircut. Oh yeah! We have a Windows 98 machine to show you this time.
Does it play in full screen?
Got it working. With a funny story of why it wasn't working too.
Yes.
Tell your story, good sir. Well, I was messing around with everything in the BIOS, trying to find out what was wrong, because I know that when I first got it, I was like, well, I know I have the faster processor, so I tried to...
Plays YouTube just fine. This machine's modern enough to be in my workshop then. That's pretty awesome, guys. Got a free computer that's definitely very useful in the workshop. I'll probably put Linux Mint 13 on here as it is. I might put another gig of RAM in here or so, but I think it'll be fine really as is. Even with the 1 gig of RAM in there, it seems to do just fine. So The only reason I need a workshop computer to play back YouTube videos is for those dismantling videos you find online that teach you how to dismantle certain things like laptops and other stuff. They're just dead useful. So yeah, there you go. But yay, I got a free Compaq and it works, which is a surprise because you saw how the heatsink was just lying around in there. I guess the chip didn't get fried, so maybe it's a good idea to show you the system monitor, just because I traditionally do it in all these videos. Yep, single core CPU. It's hardly using that Giga RAM in there too, so I might not even have to upgrade it. And that's Linux Mint 13 32-bit, so there you have it. Well, that's a pleasant surprise. I'm pretty happy with that then. What an awesome little find. Well, not find, I just got it from somebody, but that's pretty sweet. This will definitely be a nice workshop computer. Even with the 3500 plus, it does everything I need. So upgrading it will just make it last a little bit longer. So, cool. Absolute success. Linux Mint's installing on this machine right now, which is pretty good. It's going to be a nice computer to use in the workshop for sure. I won't use it a whole lot, but it'll be there if I needed to. Plus, for the first time in my workshop, well, in a while, I'll actually have a DVD drive that has a working tray. Who knew HP made decent DVD drives? I don't know who makes them for HP, but this is probably the best Compaq I could have found anywhere. Because there are some with the same case that are a little bit older that aren't that great, but this one is still pretty good. I plan to get an AMD Athlon X2 939 CPU for this thing, maybe a 4800 plus or something like that. I'll stick in here and use. But so far, it works extremely well. I'm pretty sure I'll be happy with it. So I'll continue to install Linux Mint on here, leave it on there, and then bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Have a good one, everybody. Ciao.